And here's my pen, and I'm going to try and show you today exactly why so many people need coffee first thing in the morning to get up, but then, because they're so exhausted, they're so tired, but then at night, you can't fall asleep, right? So if we were looking at our regular sort of stress response, so you'd have high stress responses and then, your low stress response. So this would be, your fight or flight, and this down here would be your rest and digest. Okay, so things that might pump you into your fight or flight. If you do a really hard workout, right, your body gets stressed out, and then hopefully at the end of your workout you're able to come down, maybe do some stretching, maybe do some foam rolling, which taps into your parasympathetic nervous system, and you're able to come down, right? The problem lies when we are sort of constantly in this fight or flight because, work is happening and kids and fights with, your spouse or your mom or something like that. And you're constantly up here, right? Eventually, your the hormones, your stress hormones, the response is going to start to dampen, right? So instead of being up here in this huge thing, it slowly gets slower. And consequently, the recovery, you're not able to hit that as much either, right? So your high highs and your low lows become sort of these like medium looking things. And then, as you go, it gets smaller and smaller until eventually you literally kind of flatline, right? And this is when you start to really need coffee in the morning, because your hormones that help you, your cortisol, which you want to be elevated in the morning, is simply just not producing in the same way anymore. And then consequently, when you want to sleep and you want, more happy hormones to be producing, more serotonin and stuff like that, you just can't. So you can't sleep, right? Because everything's kind of all out of whack. Okay? So if you're finding you're one of these people who really needs coffee just to get up or just to get going in the morning, or you're noticing, your workouts are a bit sluggish, and then your recovery isn't happening, your muscles are sore for a longer period of time and things like that, you have to start to look at your adrenal system. And now we are so busy these days that just saying, oh, okay, well, I will have no stress in my life. I will just be a, monk sitting around and having zero stress. That is clearly not going to be the answer, because our society that we live in right now is full of stress, right? You walk down the street, you're getting so much information at any given time. There's lights everywhere, there's posters, there's TV, there's your text messaging is going off. It's impossible to not have this. And the thing is that if you look at, 30,000 years ago, which is, by the way, the amount of time that it takes a human to adapt. My phone just died there for a second. But yes, so 30,000 years, which I was saying is, by the way, the amount of time it takes for humans to actually really evolve and be able to handle something. So this is why things like sugar, which are recent, really mainstream only about 400 years ago. But all of this information, if you look at the amount of information that we are taking in just one day right now, is more in one day than somebody in the early 1900s would have taken in their entire life. Okay, and we have not adapted to this, right? It hasn't been 30,000 years yet. And so the way that we sort of, are able to deal with all of this information is to literally go on this flat line, right? It's too much. So it's not your fault or anything. You don't feel like you're alone by any means. If you are finding that this nice, beautiful up and down, which is a nice balance of healthy stress and also the ability to relax in a healthy way, if you can't find it and it's not there for you, the thing that we have to try to do now, because we know our stress levels, they're going to be up here. They're going to be all the way up there. But the thing is that we don't have a mechanism to tap into this, right? So this is why if you want to be able to fight off the things, you know, because we're not here yet at this 30,000 years and we're not able to adapt, if you want to fight off, you got to learn to tap into this. And this is why stuff like mind clearing or meditation or even deep breathing from your diaphragm is so crucial and so important, so that you don't end up on this constant flat line and feel like crap. Okay, so this has to be sought after. Meditation works, deep breathing works, using your foam roller works, lying flat down on the ground works. Okay, so finding time within your day to be able to tap into this is going to be so crucial, because we need this. We need this up and we need this down. A healthy balance of stress isn't having zero stress and being a sloth lying on your couch down here all the time, because then you have no motivation for life. There's nothing that you want to do. There's nothing that, you know, is getting you up in the morning and making you want to go and live and be happy, right? You need this happy stress just as much as you need this relaxation. But if you don't tap into this, you can't tap into this, okay? So that's a two-way street, and you end up on that flat line. So I hope that makes it a little bit clearer, and you go and take a real deep breath right now.